Hey everybody, it's Beth. Today I'm using one of these crates from Dollar Tree. I will be painting the bottom portion of the crate, the bottom two slats in the bottom of the crate with plaster colored chalk paint, and that's by Waverly. Next, I will be taping off the last slat all the way around, so that bottom section of the crate. And then I will be using some tape to make stripes on the bottom of the crate, which will actually be the top of my project. The areas that I had taped off, I'm painting with barn red acrylic paint. I do the bottom of the crate as well as the sides that I had taped off. And then also on one of the sides of the crate, I'm painting with the barn red. The other one, I'm leaving that plaster color. I give that full coverage and then remove the tape. And then I tape off the painted area again to paint that last section, which is the top of the crate, and it will be the bottom of my project. I also paint the inside of the crate with that color just so it's finished. Once everything's dry, I take some pixie spray and spray that on the back of my stencil. It's a adhesive spray to keep the stencil into place. And I just stencil some of these small stars onto the blue area, which I'm not sure if I mentioned, that's English Navy acrylic paint. So I do that just on one side. This will be the front of my project. Next, I'm taking these stamps that I got from Temu, and I'm spelling out Liberty. I'm putting the letters down on the acrylic block, which is from Dollar Tree, and you put them on backwards so it's like a mirror image. Put on the ink pad onto the stamps and then take the block and press the stamps down onto that center slat. Use my heat tool to dry that ink. Next, I'm taking Antique Wax by Waverly and applying that with a baby wipe to these really tiny stars that I had gotten from Temu. I do both sides. Next, I'm taking some twine and wrapping that around the crate on the left-hand side, and I tie that in a knot inside the crate, and then I wrap it around a few times. I think I did 4, and then on the bottom of my project inside that crate, I wrap that twine around and knot it again a couple times, and then to keep it into place, I did apply tacky glue to that knot. I then make a bow. I take the twine, leaving a piece long and wrapping it around my hand a few times, and then leaving the other end long. Take another piece of twine, wrap that around the loop I removed from my hand, knot that a couple times and cut off the excess. I then hot glue that bow towards the front of my project on the top. I then trim up those tails, and I'm adding tacky glue to the bottom of the tails. And then I will place down the star using my heat tool to make sure that is fully dried. And on this one, I wanted to keep it in place a certain way, so I added tacky glue to the piece of twine and attached that to the twine that I had wrapped around. And then I do the same thing to the other one, but that one I leave just hanging down. And that is it for this project. Thank you so much for watching.